Why is there no bridge between Europe and Africa? Two continents, separated by just 14 kilometers. That's closer than many daily commutes in major cities. And yet, even with today's advanced engineering, no bridge connects them. This narrow gap is known as the Strait of Gibraltar, a critical passage linking the Atlantic Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea. On one side lies Spain, the gateway to Europe. On the other, Morocco, the doorway to Africa. At first glance, it feels like an easy problem to solve. We've built massive bridges across oceans, we've carved tunnels beneath seas, so why not here? Because this is not just a simple stretch of water. It is one of the most strategically important and physically complex locations on Earth. Every year, nearly 100,000 ships pass through this narrow corridor. It carries around 33% of the world's oil and gas, and nearly half of global trade. For Europe alone, up to 80% of its merchandise trade depends on this route. If a direct connection existed here, it could transform global transportation, cutting travel time, boosting trade, and linking two continents like never before. So what's stopping it? The truth lies beneath the surface. The Strait of Gibraltar is where two massive bodies of water collide. The Atlantic Ocean pushes in cold, dense water. The Mediterranean releases warmer, lighter water. When these two meet, they don't simply mix, they create powerful, chaotic currents. Water moves in multiple directions at different depths, forming a constantly shifting underwater environment. At the surface, currents can reach speeds strong enough to challenge even large vessels. Below, the situation becomes even more unpredictable. And that's just the beginning. Beneath the water lies another challenge: the seabed itself. In many areas, the ocean floor is not solid rock, but a fragile mixture of clay and broken stone. This type of ground is unstable, soft, and extremely difficult to build on. In other sections, hard rock layers suddenly appear, making drilling unpredictable and dangerous. Engineering a stable foundation here is far more complicated than in most underwater projects. Then comes the depth. At its deepest points, the strait reaches nearly 900 meters. That's almost 3 times the height of the Eiffel Tower. To build a bridge across this distance, engineers would need to construct massive pillars rising from extreme depths, something far beyond the scale of most existing bridges. Tunnels aren't much easier. Drilling nearly a kilometer below sea level through unstable and shifting ground presents enormous technical risks. But perhaps the biggest challenge of all is geological. This region sits directly on the boundary between two tectonic plates, the African plate and the Eurasian plate. These massive sections of Earth's crust are constantly moving, grinding against each other. The result is an active seismic zone, where earthquakes are not just possible, they are expected. Even small movements can destabilize structures. A large earthquake could be catastrophic for any bridge or tunnel built here. And as if that weren't enough, there's still one more major obstacle. The Strait of Gibraltar is one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. Massive container ships, oil tankers, and naval vessels pass through it every day. Any bridge would need to be tall enough to allow these ships to pass safely underneath. This would require an enormous clearance height, adding even more complexity to the design. So if a bridge seems impossible, what about a tunnel? In recent years, engineers have shifted their focus toward a new idea: an underwater rail tunnel connecting Spain and Morocco. Instead of crossing the shortest route, they are exploring a slightly longer path where the depth is more manageable, around 300 meters. The concept involves 3 tunnels, 2 for high-speed trains and 1 central tunnel for maintenance and safety. If completed, this link could cut travel time between the continents dramatically. A journey that currently takes many hours could be reduced to just a fraction of that. It sounds like a perfect solution, but even today, the project remains unfinished. And the reason is not just engineering, it's politics. For decades, tensions between Spain and Morocco have slowed progress. Disputes over territories like Ceuta and Melilla have created diplomatic challenges, delaying cooperation between the two nations. Without strong political alignment, even the most advanced engineering plans cannot move forward. So despite over a century of ideas, research and proposals, the connection between Europe and Africa remains a vision, not a reality. And yet, the need for it has never been greater. This narrow stretch of water continues to carry a huge portion of the world's trade. It is a lifeline for global commerce and a critical link between continents. One day, a bridge or tunnel may finally connect these two lands. But before steel and concrete can unite Europe and Africa, something else must come first: trust. Because in the end, the greatest barrier here is not distance, not depth, and not even the ocean itself. It's the space between nations. So the question remains, will we ever see a bridge between Europe and Africa? Or will this 14-kilometer gap remain one of the world's most fascinating unsolved challenges? Drop your thoughts below. Would you support a bridge, or is a tunnel the smarter move? And if you were an engineer, how would you solve this?